Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a get ready with me with products that I am sort of on the fence about, and I'm going to do a little bit of a Q&A. I posted on my Instagram if anybody would be interested in that, and everybody said yes, and then I asked for questions and only like 6 people asked them, so we're just going to incorporate it in here, and that's perfectly okay. And I hope everyone is really enjoying these breakouts I'm having, because real life. Also, this is sweet, sweet gym hair. Let me just get a little bit more of that. Yeah. Okay, so the first one I'm trying is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter. A girl from work actually bought this and didn't like it, so she gave it to me to mess with. I've tried it a couple times, still kind of on the fence about it. Truthfully, it does make my face look nice, but I am unsure of the longevity that it gives my foundation. There's no smell, which is nice, and it's like creamy feeling, which I like. But let's just see. I wouldn't exactly call it pore filling. It's supposed to be a retouch primer. Can you retouch this thing? So one product that I do know that I'm about, and this was in my favorites, is the LA Pro Conceal. So I'm going to use that and just get rid of some of the red out of my skin. And let's start with our first question, which came from Makeup Persona on Instagram. What is my favorite foundation? I have a few favorite foundations. I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to skin and complexion products because my skin and complexion is all over the place. But probably my all-time favorite of my whole life when I was a little younger would have been L'Oreal True Match Lumi, or the original True Match. And now it's the YSL All Hours, which is actually right here. And the Laura Mercier Long Lasting Fusion something. Yeah, Flawless Fusion Ultra Long Wear Foundation. It's not that exciting. They're both very expensive, but they are actually the two foundations that make me really notice a big difference. The second complexion product I'm going to use is this Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This is new to me. I've used it a few times and I've actually been kind of using it to mix with my foundation. So I've been just kind of doing this. My skin's been really red and crazy and irritating lately, and I've been getting a bunch of really random breakouts. So, The reason I feel on the fence about this is because I feel like you could just use it as foundation. Like, the coverage is very good, and the product usage for good coverage is pretty minimal. It's also a pretty good match for me personally, but it is a little bit dry, so if you have dry skin, I don't know if I would recommend this for you. But just on days when I'm having like a chill makeup day, which is like today, my mom is coming for a few days with her friend from Boston, and she's like one of my favorite humans of all time. So this is just the concealer. So this is what I'm gonna do. I think people are gonna judge me for this, but oh well. Because I haven't been sleeping and I've been kind of like sick and feeling really shoddy lately, shoddy, not shitty, I'm going to cover some of this shit as well with some ColourPop No Filter Concealer. Like, I got more bags than a goddamn airline. They aren't lost either, they're right here. Should I just leave it like this? I think so. So I just, like, this is gonna be the quickest and dirtiest, like, just pull your shit together makeup look. I say that. It never works out that way. All right. I just got a comment on a video that they said I'm not good with eyeshadow. That's okay. I'm not pretending like I'm a makeup artist, but thank you for your feedback. Question number 2 is from Blue Ballerina, which is my friend Rebecca here. She's very active in the comment section. We like Rebecca, she's wonderful. Do you have someone who is your all-time favorite makeup inspiration? And honestly, not anymore. I would say who started me into makeup and like really bright colors would probably be Queen of Blending. So Queen of Blending was kind of on the scene before it was like Instagram makeup and this, and like Jaclyn Hill wasn't a thing yet. I don't mean a thing like she's a thing, I just mean like she wasn't popular yet, she wasn't really on the scene. The YouTube thing hadn't really broke out yet. I would say Queen of Blending like started on like Pinterest and Facebook and those types of things. I'm just going to set my face with some Stay Matte powder, and we all know how I feel about this. This is not something I'm on the fence about. But yes, she was probably the first to really catch my eye with makeup, and I would say this is like 2013 maybe. I've always liked makeup, but she was the first one where I was saving her stuff as inspiration and trying to recreate. So since we're working with things I'm unsure how I feel about, I'm going to use this Bye Bye Pores bronzer for my contour, which I know I should probably use for bronzer, not contour, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna use it for bronzer too. To set my under eyes, I'm actually going to use this Nude by Nature setting powder. I've actually been liking it so far. I have no complaints. It's a Canadian company. I believe it's vegan and cruelty free. They're sold at Shoppers Drug Mart that I have seen. I haven't really paid that close attention, if I'm being totally honest with you. I'll put some more information about their brand in the description box, or at least a link to them, so you can go check it out if that's what you're into. But this came in a top box, and it's just like a translucent finishing powder. So far, it's pretty good. Question number 3 is from Andrea Loach, and I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong. How did you find the time to learn how to make and edit videos in order to start your channel? So I've always been fairly techie. I'm a big believer in you can teach yourself anything. I don't believe in courses or classes, or I'm big on like life experiences, and I'm big on like looking things up on YouTube and buying books to teach yourself. And I knew I wanted to do a YouTube channel, so I just opened up iMovie and started filming on my webcam, and that was kind of the end of it. My first video was pretty funny, didn't have much editing, and just as I went and I knew how I wanted my stuff to look, I started looking up instructions on the internet. Honestly, the internet is such a wonderful resource. I'm trying to get a little bit more advanced in editing now, so I've actually, lynda.com, which is a service provided by LinkedIn, is a really excellent resource for free courses. And they have courses in everything, in business, Excel, any computer program, emotional intelligence. Like, there's literally training courses for everything. And what I meant by I'm not into courses, I'm not into like going into a class and sitting and doing schooling. I've made it very far in my career with very minimal schooling. I don't think there's anything wrong with schooling, it's just not how I learn. I learn by like doing, and I learn by reading, and I'm a very self-sufficient learner. So the second you stick me in a class, I stop paying attention. It's something I really don't like about myself, to be honest with you. I wish I could learn that way, because I feel like I would have went farther and faster. And in the aspect of how did I find the time to do it, the blush I'm using is just the It Girl blush from the beauty book from It Cosmetics from this year. Finding the time to do anything is a matter of priority. I read something a long time ago that said it's never a matter of not finding the time, it's a matter of what's a priority to you. And I sat there and I thought about that, and then it suggested that you actually take the comment, I just don't have time for that, and change it to this is not a priority. So for example, I don't have time to pay my bills. Switch that to paying my bills is not a priority, and then it kind of shifts your brain to be like, no, paying my bills is definitely a priority, so I need to do that. I'm also, and this is something just in the last couple of years, I'm not a huge fan of setting goals, writing down goals, and then that's it. So I actually, instead of being like, I want to lose 50 pounds, my goals are, I want my wedding rings to fit, I want this pair of pants to fit, I want to be able to do 1,000 kilometers on the treadmill in X amount of time, and then I actually write down the steps of how I'm going to get there, and then I will go and check them off. Last year, and I'm using weight loss because it's a very relative one, and I know a lot of people struggle with it. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, but when you are trying to achieve a goal like that, it's such a lofty thing and it's overwhelming. So this year I actually wrote down all my goals, the plan to get there, and then every single week I have a section in my bullet journal where I actually go in and I write down things that I did to achieve that goal. And if I have to write down that I did nothing, then it's on me. There is no outlying issues where I did not, like, it's you are accountable for it. So there's never, oh well, I didn't do this walk, or I didn't do that exercise, or I didn't take that course because I didn't have time, because then we're back to, well, you did have time, it wasn't a priority. Sitting and watching Bird Box on Netflix was a priority at the time. So it seems really hardcore, but it's really not. It's just the way you shift your thinking. So there's time for everything. And in 2017, one of my main comments I made in my 2017 like YouTube resolutions was, there is time. There's time for whatever you make time for. That was like a little bit of a convoluted answer. It wasn't meant to be. Question number 4 from Chanel Haley is, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time outside of YouTube and blogging? So I work a lot. Not necessarily that I enjoy working. Moving back to the thing of things I'm on the fence about, I'm going to use this Too Faced Then and Now palette for my eyes. This palette's such an anomaly to me. I just can't figure out how I feel about it. So let's see if this goes well. And to the person who thinks I'm bad at eyeshadow, guess what? We're still only gonna put something in the crease and something in the lid. I don't care. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Gretchen down the bottom here. Gretchen Wieners. Okay, so yeah. So in my spare time, I like to play in my makeup room, to be honest with you, a lot. I spend a lot of time with my dogs. We hang out a lot. I work out a lot. I am right now just going through this like KonMari organization. It's funny that I got that comment because I had intended to spend more time this year working on my craft than buying makeup. So that's what I will be doing in the future. We actually have a fairly large property with a ton of gardens, and our house, and I'm not bragging, is fairly big. And I am not great at making that a priority. So I'm not really great. There's a lot of kick up in this color. I'm not really great at like making sure the laundry is put away, and I'm not really great at making sure that the gardens are taken care of. Like, they don't look horrible. They are gardens that are built to not have a lot of maintenance, so there's lots of hostas, etc. But it's like chaos, and I feel like I could stand to pay more attention to my home. Because I make so many other things a priority, like at some point you just can't, like there's too much. That's actually why I closed my sticker shop. That's something I used to do in the past, was I had a sticker shop on Etsy that I used to be very active with. I don't know where I'm going with this look anymore. So one thing I will say with this is there's not a ton of mattes to kind of play with in your crease. So I have been interested in this shade here, this lighter one in Ooh La La. This here, the original Ooh La La, I had that in a single and I loved it. So let's see what this has got for me. I don't really like these half pans. They're too small. Nope, that's boring. Okay, so that didn't work out very well. I'm going to go into Twinkie and try that instead. None of these are really great. Okay, let's try Glitter Donut. This doesn't work on my brush. I'm gonna try my finger. Okay, so they go on with your finger. That's something, at least. I don't think I'm on the fence about this palette anymore. I probably fell off the fence, and I can truthfully say I'm not in love with it. The next question is real intense. If I could only take one of each product with you into 2019, what would they be? I don't even know how to answer this, if I'm being totally honest. That makes me panicky. I don't like that at all. Let's go into this shade Dirtbag here. It is a shimmer, but I'm gonna try and deepen out my outer corner here and make this somewhat more depthy. Foundation, I'd probably take the YSL All Hours in more than the shade I have, because the shade I have is actually too light for me in summer. Powder, the Stay Matte translucent powder, Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, the classic one. It's a good thing this makeup look isn't for anyone or anything in particular. Primer would probably be the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I've definitely been really liking that. I actually have to move out of this palette. Like, I can't make this work very well. So let's go to another one. I'm still trying to decide on which is the Dominique Latte palette. There's just fucking glitter all over my face. That was the caramel shade. I'm gonna go into the shade Mocha, which is this guy here, and do the same thing where I try and darken up the outer edge. So the gold from the gold I put on with my finger is basically gone. Why do all these palettes have such bad fallout? Why is this going so badly? Hey, let's try on my finger the shade Macchiato, which is right here, and see if I can recover this. This is one of those looks where if I wore fake lashes, I would just be like, oh, and we'll just cover up this travesty with fake lashes. Okay, I'm not playing with this anymore. All right, I just wanted to zoom back out here because, like, I can't look at myself that closely anymore. This is not going well. My God, fallout like crazy. Brow products would be probably Dip Brow, eyeshadow primer, the Urban Decay primer potion, and eyeshadow palettes. Probably take Sultry. I'm really digging that one lately, which I was super surprised by because I had actually no intention of buying it at all. And I would probably, just based on the colors in it, because they're colors I really like right now, would probably take the, oh, let's be real, the Pat McGrath palette, Broad Seduction, Mothership 5. Used that like crazy at the end of 2018. So my eyebrows, I'm trying to pan this spiked eyebrows. This is from MAC. The whole like only one product thing I feel like needs to be revisited in another video where I actually like really think about it. Ray Sunny asked me what is the best product for subtle coverage, and I actually firmly believe the best product for subtle coverage is a tinted moisturizer and an ice powder, and that's it. If you have like spot coverage required, just use a concealer. Marcel used to do a really nice tinted moisturizer that worked well for me before I used to wear foundation, and if it's still available, I'm actually not sure, but any tinted moisturizer will do. Just make sure it's within your color spectrum. So my last finishing touch here, I'm going to do highlighter and then mascara and maybe a lip product, I guess, is the Pat McGrath highlighting palette. This is like a truly on the fence highlighting palette because I actually do, like, I think I like it, but every time I put it on, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. Like, it's definitely highlighty, it's definitely beautiful, but it only works with certain brushes. Like, you see the intenseness of this. It doesn't work with the brushes I prefer for my highlight, and I almost feel like it's overbearing on my blush. If I had to choose a favorite in here, it's definitely the one with the pink iridescence, and I will swatch. Oh, they are so beautiful. I will swatch all three of them. So this is the pink iridescence. Sorry, this is the pink iridescence. This is the one with like a green gold shift, and this is the actual gold one. Truthfully, they're so pretty. I really like to swatch them. They're beautiful. To put them on the face, most of the time they're beautiful, but they're so intense. Like, this was very little, and this is with a dense brush. If I use a fluffier brush, it just like takes over my whole face, which I don't really love. So I'm going to put on so I'm going to use the Pro Longwear Pencil by MAC. It's a lip pencil, nice and spicy. And I'm going to use the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Universal. Is it called Universal? No, Fenty Glow. We're getting that like classic 90s look. And then for mascara, we're going to use the Caution mascara from Hourglass. And truthfully, this whole video was a fucking mess. And I'm still gonna upload it because that's who I am as a person. The last question is from my best friend Kelly, who was actually the first person to ask a question on the Instagram post. And it's the age-old question of French toast or pancakes. And to be honest with you, my husband will be so sad to hear this because he is a pancake connoisseur, but I actually prefer French toast. All right, guys, I would love to know your answer to that question, or any of these questions, to be honest with you. Do you prefer French toast, or do you prefer pancakes, or do you prefer neither? What is your favorite breakfast food? Oh my God, I can't get over how much fallout was from that one palette. Miserable. If you intended to follow this tutorial, I suggest that you do not. My own mother is gonna judge me. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up for this shitty eyeshadow application. Let me know if you prefer French toast or pancakes, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave.